What's good, everybody? I know this ain't the normal pro-am video everybody's used to, but I think it's very important for anybody that plays 2K and is good at 2K to keep your skills sharp and play now online. This is where I came from. This is why I'm as good as I am in any mode that I play in. It's just because growing up, this is what we played. Now, ever since 2K5 with Ben Wallace on the cover, we've been playing 2K. Before that, it was NBA Live. But just playing head to head against your friends and family over the years, and then now you're able to play online against people all over the world. It's very important to keep your skills sharp in here because one, the game does change, and no matter what brand of 2K you get, playing this kind of tells you what type of game it is that year, right? I know last year when people started shooting fades and stuff, it was a big thing with Curry, Lillard, Kyrie, any of these, Trae Young, any of those fast, elusive guards, they could run around and make off-balance shots. That was a big thing last year. You found that out and Play Now Online. So it's very important that you keep Play Now Online as a priority when you're just keeping your skills sharp. I think a lot of people that aren't as good probably never even play this particular mode. They might play My Career. That's the majority of the people. Like if you're playing Pro-Am or something, the majority are just playing My Career, which is fine. I don't have no problem with that, but it would really help if you kind of had to play with some teams where everybody couldn't do everything, because it forces you to focus in on a person doing that particular skill. Such as right now with the Mavericks, right? I have Luka at point, Tim Hardaway Jr., Dorian Finney-Smith, Christian Wood, and JaVale McGee. Well, I don't want Luka to guard and Trae Young the whole game, so I put Dorian Finney-Smith on him. He's more of a defender, and I don't want Luka guarding DeJounte Murray, so I leave Tim Hardaway Jr. on him. I allow Luka to guard Hunter because Luka's a pretty good rebounder. Christian Wood can hold his own against John Collins, and JaVale McGee is not getting punked around by Clint Capella. Now here's the thing, if I put somebody else in there on Clint Capella, he would kill me on the boards and he'd kill me in the paint, just snatching every rebound and blocking everything that came near him. So it's very important that I know the personnel of the team that I have to maximize their success. I get a lot of times, like I play with my friends or whatever, and let's say this matchup came up, Atlanta versus Dallas. I would feel comfortable using either team because I understand the personnel and I understand the strengths and weaknesses. So if I was using Atlanta, to be honest with y'all, I probably wouldn't start DeJounte Murray. I probably would start Bogey. And it's just because when you play now online, you want to have consistent scoring between your starters and your bench. So if I can bring DeJounte Murray off the bench, well, I have somebody who I can put the ball in their hands and he's going to lead the second unit. And it just helps it so when I do sub out my starters, I'm not, struggling to score or trying to figure out where I'm going to get points. And I've come across people online that do lineups a certain way, and I be thinking, why do they do the lineup that particular way? But that's the fun thing about it. You get to see how other people would use the personnel and use these different teams. Like with Brooklyn, I'm undefeated with Brooklyn, but I have a lineup in there that is very hard to score against, and with Ben Simmons running the show, it's just very hard to stop them because he has two phenomenal scorers on the wing. He has a lob threat, and then you can either go Joe Harris or Royce O'Neal. Both provide three-point shooting. Royce O'Neal will provide a little bit more defense, as Joe Harris will provide a little bit better shooting. So, there's no right or wrong way to do it. Just depending on who you're going up against and how you see them matching up against the other team. So I'm using Dallas. Obviously, you see Lethal Mindset underneath Dallas. And I would also wonder why, like, when people play online, why don't they set the people to defend kind of how they would do in real life? So if I'm using Atlanta, obviously I would put DeAndre Hunter on Luka. But as you can see, this person didn't really do that. And I'm just a little bit curious as to why, because the only way to figure out how to play now online and get good at it enough to where you can carry it over into other modes is to have some sense of that team structure. Why are these guys the starters? Don't just look at the rating. Because like I just told you, DeJounte Murray has a higher rating, but I still would put him on the bench. With Dallas, Spencer Dinwiddie comes off the bench. He's good enough to start, but I need something to come off the bench for when my starters get tired. I could have easily put Tim Hardaway Jr. there. So I was curious as to why he did it the way he did it. It is what it is. It ain't no big deal. In my brain, I just be factoring all these different things. I'm used to playing point guard. So when I play now online, that's how I'm looking at the floor. I'm looking at it from a point guard's perspective. I play it against people that are scorers. I believe this guy is more of a scorer than he is like a facilitator, because a lot of his offense was just high pick with Trae Young and trying to fade. He didn't really get the rest of his team involved. And to be honest with y'all, these are some of the easier people to play. People that don't really use team. Like, the only team I can kind of see like that would be difficult would be the Golden State Warriors, if you can just flat out shoot with Curry. But outside of that, you have to be able to use a team to win. You can't just sit there and try to score with one person unless you know they shot really, really well. So it does teach you to use a team to their best ability. As you see, I drive with Luka, kick it out to a shooter. Like, those things are important, because when I go into Pro-Am, I like to know what my personnel is. I run 5 out just so I can see the defense. I can see exactly what defense you're in. There's no surprises when I go 5 out. And the guys that I play with are capable of knocking down 3-point shots, so it just makes it easier if they help from a certain spot for me to just kick it to them wide open. And if they don't kick it, I should be skilled enough just to get downhill and make a play on my own. But the same concept holds true here and Play Now Online. Even though I'm not playing 5 out, the concept, no matter what team I use, is pretty much the same. I like having a bigger guard. Just for defensive purposes, it's easier to switch if you have a bigger guard. Obviously, if I'm using Atlanta, I have to use Trae Young to the best of his ability offensively, but on defense, I would try to hide him, probably put him on Tim Hardaway Jr. And just try to hide him as best as possible. I don't want him switching down to no bigs or nothing like that, so I would really have to click on and make sure he stays with his particular man, which can get difficult. But as you can see, that's pretty much his game plan. I played against somebody that used Portland, pretty much did the same thing, just try to jack up a bunch of shots from Damian Lillard. It makes the game easy because, one, I'm going to have probably a better defender guarding that player. So Dorian Finney-Smith is my best defender. He's the one guarding Trae Young. And once you're missing shots, I'm able to get out on the break and run. And since my whole team is involved, eventually over time, I'm going to build up the lead. I think the games are more difficult to play now online when people really use bigs. But that just tells you how much the game has changed. It's not as much people using bigs right now. Even in Tier 1, I don't really see people using Embiid or Jokic. To be honest with you, they should be there to make the game a lot easier, but because speed has become so important in a lot of people's opinion as far as playing, those guys just don't get the playing time. They don't get used as much. I see somebody use the Lakers One, because they're the Lakers, but two, because Anthony Davis, at center, is faster than most centers, and he's a good enough defender to hold his own. Same thing with the Bucks. When I see the Bucks online, nobody has Brook Lopez in the lineup. I don't use him just because it's just having Bobby Portis at the 4 and Giannis at the 5 is just cheating. But you know, like, if you can find a team and figure out how to use their bigs the same way, like in this game I used JaVale McGee, you can find a lot of success. Obviously, the skill players are going to be the skill players. They're probably going to put up the most points. But it's important to get everybody else involved and get the team involved. And I promise y'all, the more the team is involved, the better the AI acts defensively. You know, the more they help and rotate, the more they try to get steals and deflections and passing lanes and things of that nature. So that's just something to keep in mind as you progress through this year's 2K. Get out there and play some Play Now online. To be honest with you, once you start getting into it, it does become pretty fun. I also plan to host a league, and when I do a league, I like to throw in the best of the best. So the best players from all eras. I like to do a nice big draft, and from there, we just go out there and ball out. Now, it's been a lot of fun. It's something I've done over the years in 2K. This year, I might try my best to get a good 30 people in it. I think if I add expansion teams, I can have like 36, but for the most part, I'm gonna try to just get like 30 people. And to be honest, I'm only mainly looking for people that won't quit, because people that won't quit, they will get better over time. If you're somebody that knows that once you get down like 15, 17 points, and the game makes you so mad and so frustrated that you're just gonna quit, not really looking for you, you know. And for me, even if I don't make a league, I still make a league on my own and just play by myself, because I like to keep my skills sharp. And like I said, it's a lot of fun. You get to go against different people. I like doing it for the draft standpoint of it, because I always wonder who people's first pick would be. Like, if you had the very first overall pick all time of any player, who would it be? Would it be LeBron? Would it be Jordan? Would it be Kareem? You know, and although it's not really a bad pick you can have, it's just, you know, having that first pick and then having to wait all the way pretty much 2 rounds to get that second pick, but then you get that top pick in the 3rd round. It's kind of tough. You know, me, my experience in drafts, I never would want the first pick, unless it was like, of course, the way the NFL and NBA have it now, to where my team was sorry and I get the first pick. But if it was just throwing everybody into a pool, I would never want the first pick. Because even though you can build around that player, there's so many other skilled players that go out there that if you had a little bit later of a pick, you know, you can package together some really decent players versus having like one good guy and a bunch of road guys. So that's where I'm at with that. I look forward to doing it in league. Definitely gonna make some content on it. So if you're into that type of thing, this is the place for you. As we coming up towards the end of the video, as you see, I'm clearly killing with Dallas. I encourage anybody that wants to get better at 2K in general, whether it's just my career, Play Now Online, whatever it is, anything but my team. I don't play my team. I don't like everybody having the same players, but anything but my team. If you just want to get better at 2K, this is the place to be. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. If you want to know how something works, if you want to become a better defender, I'm not the guy to give you a jump shot, but I can tell you how you can be a consistent shooter. Because as you can see here, even though I never really make builds that can shoot, when I play Now Online, I have to have the ability to knock down shots. And I'm using a bunch of different jump shots and I'm still greening. You know, I can tell you how to do that. I can show you how to set stuff up. So if you like this type of content, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe. If you have any questions, that's what I'm here for. That's what I want my channel to be about, just helping people become better 2K players. You know, because the better the community gets, the more fun the game gets. But I hope y'all enjoyed today's content. It's been Lethal. I'll catch y'all in the next one. I'm out.